Yo, what's good? I'm back again for another one. This time I ain't rolling my blunt yet, but you know what I'm saying. If y'all got charged, I might as well go ahead and do what it do. I can't believe I can play music and be on live at the same time. Okay, I guess we gonna multitask. Now, actually, let me see. Perfect. That's perfect. Turn the music down a little bit so it don't distract me. But yeah, so I'm finna roll up. But anyway, we finna talk about ancestor altars today. So today, while I was finishing up my offering today, someone probably asked me what I was doing. I'm quite sure a lot of people wonder what the fuck I be doing, but I don't be giving too much to explain. But for those that want to know, um, you know what I'm saying. So we're gonna talk ancestor altars, venerating our ancestors, and pretty much like what's the purpose of it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does it do? How does it work? Because getting into it, I definitely wasn't the most, I guess, you know what I'm saying, educated about exactly how the process worked. But I kind of had a feeling of what it should have been. Like, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much had a feeling of, like, you know, what it all meant. But there was no information out there that kind of put it in layman terms or made it simple. So, for those of you guys that don't know what honoring your ancestors are or venerating ancestors, it's pretty much just like, you know what I'm saying, keeping their memory alive, keeping their energy alive, keeping their essence alive, okay? And even though the black community doesn't practice it traditionally as many other communities do, such as, like, you know, Asian communities and things, like, where it's still traditional, it's still a normalized thing. It still is within the black community still to this day. For instance, like, you know, pouring some out for the homies, like, you know what I'm saying? If y'all pour a little bit out just for the people that fell in y'all hood, or, you know what I'm saying, the cousin that you lost. Also, like, doing visuals and stuff, like when someone passes away, dedicating a spot or where they passed as a memorial site or something like that. That's a form of ancestor veneration. Even going to, like, you know, the graveyard, putting your flowers there, like, you know what I'm saying, or, like, you know what I'm saying, going and what else could you put it? I mean, you could put anything at the graveyard, but, like, you know what I'm saying, bringing your offerings to the graveyard and leaving them at the graveyard as well. So we're gonna talk altars. I feel like this is a little skimpy, but you know what? We ain't even gotta get that high right now. We just wanna chill anyway, so fuck it. But okay. So here are some typical things that go on the ancestor altar. And by the way, I'm staring at mine just so I know. Well, to be honest, let me start by saying this. There is really no 100% correct way of how to honor your ancestors, like, you know what I'm saying. But just out of respect, like, and respect for them, you would want to honor their tradition, right? But with that being said, tradition isn't everything, and what I mean by that is not necessarily like it's bad or anything, but don't be so stuck to tradition that you're scared to change things, like, you know what I'm saying. And if tradition was the concrete way, then there wouldn't be a need for change, like, you know what I'm saying. So there's always room for change. So, but if you can honor your ancestors the way that you feel that they would have wanted to be honored traditionally, with whether that's through your religious beliefs or through, you know, family traditions or anything like that, do that by all means. But yeah, some things that go on in the ancestor altar, okay? So first, you want to start off with, you know, some pictures. Definitely, it doesn't have to be pictures. Well, if you have pictures available, you can definitely start off with some pictures. Another thing that you can put on there is you could write a book of lineage, Okay, you can write their names down. Um, I'm sorry, I'm looking for a lighter. You can write their names down in a book, and just have that information there. I like to also use some of the information from their obituaries, or I don't know what the little smaller ones are called, but like, after a funeral, like the little, I forget what they call them. Like, what I'm saying? You can use those with pictures, or instead of the pictures. Oh Lord, I done dropped the damn blunt. Oh, here go lighter. See, I always got a lighter somewhere. But anyway. Simply, you can start with some water and some candles. You can incorporate a plant or flowers just to keep the space alive. Then you're also gonna have your offering, okay? So your offering can change from time to time, but usually a typical offering will be like an offering of food, water, drink, and you can do vices as well. So if you knew that you're feeling like things as spirits, alcohol, cigarettes, anything like worldly that they would probably were attached to while they were here, those are vices and things. And then also outside of just placing things on altar, you can do like ancestor money burns, things like that. I mean, not everybody believes in using ancestor money specifically, but in the same scenario, it's like I said, it's not all about tradition as well. So now, why do we do the ancestor veneration? Okay, so when it comes to any type of energy work, spiritual work, your ancestors are literally from you. Like, y'all from the same blood, y'all from the same, like, heritage. So many of them have different aspects of you within them, right? So when it comes to trying to understand your spiritual gifts, or trying to break generational cycles, or just becoming aware of the cycles that you're in, it's really important to connect with your ancestors, because they're kind of gonna show you who you are. Like, what I'm saying? They're also gonna actually show you how to really understand spirit in a way. And what I mean by that is, for instance, if you're highly intuitive, let's say, let me give a real specific one. Like, if you're, let's say you're clairaudient, okay? So you hear things through, like, music and songs and things like that, right? Without connecting to your ancestors first, it might be really, really hard for you to understand that ability. You know what I'm saying? And understand how to use it effectively. And also just knowing how, let me see. How should I put this? I guess, like, yeah, also just understanding signs from spirit, because everybody has different gifts, right? So without connecting to your ancestors first, like, what I'm saying, you could just overlook, like, what I'm saying, your gifts, your abilities, your intuition, by just not connecting to them first. It's kind of like, before you start outside of your house, like, what I'm saying, you got to know the dynamic of what home is, if that makes sense to anybody. I still feel like I didn't hit it on the nail. How could I make this more simpler? I'm getting a scenario where it's like different breeds of animals for some reason, but that was weird. Okay, so let's try to go with that. So imagine if imagine if you're, okay, that's what it's given. It's given, what's the story? Is that ugly little duckling where it's like or is it Duck Duck Goose or something? Where like, I don't know, I'm getting like a duckling in the mix of a whole bunch of swans, like, you know what I'm saying? And if you're the duckling within a swan, like, you know what I'm saying, and the swans is being like all like, you know what I'm saying, you taking in all these other energies from these different religions or anything that's not of your ancestors first, like, you know what I'm saying, the duckling is always going to feel out of place in the group of swans, you feel me? So until you really start connecting with your ancestors, like, you can still be doing different types of spiritual work, different types of energy work. You could really be into the arts, but still not feel like, you know what I'm saying, you are where you are, you're on your path. And it is very, very possible for you not to even be on your path when you're not fucking with your ancestors. And it's not easy all the time either. It's like just because like your ancestors are giving you signs and things, like it's not always like it's gonna be easy for you to understand them. It takes time for you to learn how to communicate with your ancestors. Like your ancestors are gonna speak to you specifically, individually, like, you know what I'm saying. It's gonna be different. Even like if you share ancestors with people in your family, like the way that they communicate with you and them is still gonna be different because y'all are two different people. I mean, it can be similar, but that's not always the case. It's really based off your abilities as well and how you listen to spirit. So that's why ancestor veneration is really important as well, because I think they taught me a lot how to just pay attention to like what the fuck spirit is trying to fucking tell you. And that's you really want to be able to well, this is for me, this is my suggestion. I feel like before you even get deep into any work, like if you cannot appease your ancestors, then you probably shouldn't be doing nothing the fuck else. And that's just me. Like, ancestor work is very chillax, like, you know what I'm saying. Like there is no, well, I'm not saying it's chillax, like you can't just start and stop, because like their energy won't be there. Oh, that was another thing. We were supposed to talk about the energy. We're gonna get back to that. But like say if you honored them one time and then like you didn't for a while, like that wouldn't hurt you anyway or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But had you been doing that with, you know, a different deity or a different spirit, like that might not be as acceptable. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you might not even be able to decipher those signs communicating with those higher level entities appropriately because you haven't been working with your ancestors, like, you know what I'm saying, to gain that ability. And I think that's really the biggest thing that I learned from working with my ancestors is like they taught me how to see signs and like you know what I'm saying, they taught me how to like know like when things around me are moving because they're moving them, like, you know what I'm saying. So that's a really big thing. So now with the ancestor altar specifically, you can set your altar up, right? And I'm probably gonna do like a real video on like how to set one up, but I'm just not gonna show y'all too much of like mine. So now this is what came to me, and I think I might have came across a video that seen it, but originally I was like kind of weirded out like the first time I ever did it. Like I was just like, all right, so we supposed to sit the food there and like what's supposed to happen, but like I mean innately, like somewhere deep down I was like, you know, they just gonna take the energy of this because they can't come in this room and like eat it, like, you know what I'm saying, like I ain't gonna come in this room and find some food missing or whatever. But yeah, so that's essentially what happens. Like the essence, the energy of whatever you leave them is absorbed. So typically what you'll find is after you do it over a period of time is you'll notice that like the overall energy of the thing is just not there, like, you know what I'm saying. Like if you leave certain offerings like water, you'll find bubbles in the water sometimes, or you'll find that the level of the water went down a lot drastically than it would have if you would have just left a regular glass of water there that wasn't assigned to anybody and you didn't call your ancestors to come and take part in that offering. When you start working with, like, well, if you work with like other deities or other spirits, right, that are more powerful than just your ancestors, you'll notice that those offerings and things like those things, the energy is absorbed really fast. Like I had one situation where I literally had like an offering sitting out for like 3 days, and like it like molded like unbelievable, and I was like kind of shocked because I was like kind of shocked because I had never seen that happen before, and it wasn't even like a food offering, it was a beverage. So I was like, whoa, like, you know what I'm saying, like the energy was gone after day one, like, you know what I'm saying, like I shouldn't have left it there after that long. So that is it. So usually once you're done with the offerings, you can discard them different ways. They usually say like, if you can give it back to the earth, you can give it back to the earth. I know a lot of people like in the South, and a lot of property owners and the people who have the ability to, they would bury the offerings in their backyard. Sometimes I know some people, and this is just like some new age stuff, I know some people who actually use like their offering leftovers as like compost and stuff, and then they also have like ancestor plants and things as well, so they'll use the food as and make fertilizers and then refeed the plants and things like that. Pretty much with me, I pretty much, because my ancestors like to eat like hood shit like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, they like their wings or whatever, like I'm gonna show y'all though, but this is one offering that I just had here, and it's only been here for about like a day and a half because I bought it yesterday, or probably about like 10. So yeah, it's like a day and a half, and if you could see, like, this thing is like dried up and dehydrated, like unbelievable. So yeah, that's just like, you know, offering well received. And also I had the candle burning there next to it, and I got a seal on the candle, so that just means that, you know, it was received well. I mean, but I do this type of work offering. So what this has definitely helped me do is just to really, like I said, tap into my gifts, understand a lot of my family dynamics, understand how the fuck we got here, understand why the fuck we still here, and really understand just how to receive signs, how to read signs. And that's very important when you start getting into any type of manifestation work and stuff as well, because whether you're honoring your ancestors or not, most likely they are around you, and they're most likely, you know what I'm saying, at times giving you different signs and things. And you may not be trained in knowing how to understand what the fuck they're trying to say, or how they trying to get you from point A to point B, or just to trust that they are really working and doing shit on the other side to get you where you need to be. And ancestor veneration is definitely going to make that connection more powerful. So if you definitely want to be on top of your stuff, I think it's definitely necessary. Like for me, yeah, it's just like when I need to know something, I just gotta be like, you know what I'm saying? So definitely get into it. So usually when I discard, typically food and things I just throw away because of where I live and how I live. But with the water specifically, I like to pour it out or drinks, wine, anything. I pour them under a tree that's near my house, and that's specifically because multiple generations of my family have been on this land as well too. And typically in like hoodoo root work, when you put things into the ground, it's for longevity. It's to make things last. So because I'm giving, that's discarding, by the way, is final offering, by the way. So usually in discarding, you want to give it back to nature somehow, like, you know what I'm saying, or give it back to nature, give it back to how it came. But like, you know what I'm saying, in the same scenario, that's just some traditional stuff as well. So you got to do what you got to do. And remember, within hoodoo, like, you got to use what you have, and it's all about using what you got, like, you know what I'm saying. So if you're unable to do it, or like, you know what I'm saying, maybe that just might not be the way that you want to do it, it's all love. But when you are honoring your ancestors, the most important thing is to do it with love, like, you know what I'm saying, respect and honor. And as long as you do that, you can't really fuck it up. I mean, you're just gonna get better with it over time. As far as what to give them, personally, when I first started, I just gave them the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Something that I figured that they would all eat. Over time, I began to, like, you know what I'm saying, develop a relationship with them where I felt as though that they were communicating what they wanted me to eat. And for me, this was like really certain times when I was going on diets and fasts, because I consider myself a flexitarian, man. I eat what the fuck I want when I want. But when I'm in like vegan mode and I'm feeling like plant-based, there was times where like I would be in the market and that's the market, and I would just be shopping for certain things, and then things that I could not eat would just pop in my mind, or I would start to taste certain things that I knew I couldn't be eating. I'm like, like, this is not for me. So then that was my ancestors coming through saying, like, you know what I'm saying, get this for me. Like, you feel me? Like, I need this. Like, you know what I'm saying. Also another way was like when I was picking up things and like buying things that I was like, wait a minute, I don't want this. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, it picks up. That's how you be knowing sometimes. And then also, not just those things would be coming in groups with like synchronicities of memories and things like that as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like maybe I would taste I don't know, some chicken. Well, nah, I just bought them chicken anytime. It was really like the lamb that one time. I tasted lamb, like, and then I remember having a conversation with my grandmother about like gyros and stuff like that. So sometimes they'll link it up together. So like you'll get the motherfucking point. But understanding signs and stuff is not the most simplest thing all the fucking time, because if it was, then we would make the right choice, right? We'd be on the right path all the time. So that is something that you got to develop, but I definitely think the ancestors is definitely going to help with that. So my tips would be, once you start, don't stop, and just do something that you can do consistently. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if that's dedicate a clean spot for them first, put a couple pictures up, a glass of water, and maybe a candle, and once a week you add, like, you know what I'm saying, a little offering there. Start there, like, you know what I'm saying. There's many other things that you can do with the ancestors, as far as like, you know, working with them, doing readings, and you know, asking them to come in and clear blockages and show you things as well. But you know, really in the beginning, you just kind of want to get into the practice of doing it, and get into the practice of their energy being around you guys. And some things that you'll see after, you know what I'm saying, you'll practice it a while, is their memory and their essence is going to keep popping up more often. So like, well, I can't say that's going to be for everybody, because some people got different gifts, believe it or not. But for me, like, being in the essence is like say if I didn't connect with the ancestor that wasn't on my altar, right, and then I put them on my altar, like, I'll notice like every time I'm around a different family member, like that family member is always being brought up, like, you know what I'm saying, things like that. And that's how you're keeping them alive. That's how you're keeping the essence alive. That's also how the signs and things are coming through as well. So that's why you gotta start paying attention. I'm gonna keep this one quick because I also gotta make another video. But anyway, if you guys want to book for any of the rituals, the link is definitely in the bio. Well, it's gonna be in the description box. I also forgot to mention, okay, so I'm going live on Instagram. After I go live on Instagram, I'm going to download the videos, put them on YouTube. 24 hours later, I'm gonna put them on Facebook. So if you ever want to catch one of these videos live, just come down to the Hoodoo Instagram and make sure you put the notifications on, because it's pretty much going to be pop up. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying, just look out for a video on here on YouTube, so you can like, share, comment, subscribe. Okay, and if you guys would like to book a ritual, or if you guys need anything from the spiritual shop, the link is below.